Hey, what's up guys? It's Jason Combs again. Going to be going over another tech video. We're going to take off the trigger assembly for the Milsig M17. Show you how to tear it apart. From my experiences, the trigger assembly does get pain in it at some point. So it's good to know. The manual doesn't show you how to tear that apart. So figured since I've already done it when I had a problem with my selector switch, I had lost that bearing inside that I've talked about in the past couple videos. Didn't quite know what was going on, so I went ahead and tore that apart and learned its ins and outs. So what you'll need is a 3mm Allen wrench. No, actually you'll need two. That's why I have this. When you start to take off this Allen heads from the mag well, you need to keep one side still while you unscrew the other. A 2.5mm Allen wrench, and that's to take the selector switch out. And of course the 3mm also takes off the grip, and then you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver. I keep a pick around in case when I put that bearing in it doesn't sit right. I can just take this in there and tamp it down, flip it around what direction it needs to go. I also use a magnetic dish. Picked it up at Sears. It was like 10-15 bucks. Alright, so let's get to it. Take the mag out, flip the gun upside down, take this grip off. Take that out, throw that in the dish, set your grip off to the side. Take the spring out, set it also in the dish. Go ahead and tip that upside down. Get that bearing out from inside of there. It's a little bitty thing, so be careful. That's why I love my magnetic dish, because I can't lose that kind of stuff. Alright, now take your 3mm Allen wrench, and we're going to put it right here. Alright, now back to this side. This is where your sling mount point is. You're going to hold that stiff and loosen off the... You can actually twist just the sling mount. It actually threads into the piece that you put the Allen wrench into. Alright, so there you go. Set that on there. I take my Allen wrench then and push that out. Alright, now we're going to take the selector switch out. So what we're going to do when we do the selector switch is take the selector and go all the way to full auto. Other than that, when you go to take it off with the Allen wrench, you're going to have to spin it that way anyway. Right, so pull that out, and when I first did this, I got real scared because I thought I messed it up when I put the selector switch back in. When you're putting it back in, test it. It is a two-stage trigger, so you know when it's on safety, it doesn't move at all. Single shot, it moves halfway back. In full auto, it's free floating. So when you put that back in, no big deal. You flip it around. The good thing about the Milsig M17 is that selector switch, if you're a left-handed person like myself, you can flip that around to be on the right side of the gun rather than on the left. In case you like to use your thumb, you can use that way, or you can keep it on this side the way that it comes from the factory. Doesn't really matter. Personal preference. It's great that Milsig did that. Kudos to them for allowing us to be able to have that option. Alright, now we'll move on to the mag well. So we're going to grab one 3mm Allen wrench and grab another one. Now these are staggered. You'll see once I start taking one out. One side is a small bolt and the other is just like that sling mount where it's a smooth cylinder that allows you to thread that bolt in, right? So so this one was, the cylinder came in from the left side of the gun, and the screw came in from the right. The next one will be the opposite direction. And alright, there again. Just goes off from the dish. Boom, mag well off. Very fast, very easy. You don't actually have to take the mag well off. You can just take the back one off. But I like to be able to see exactly what I'm working with. There's your trigger assembly. Alright, so we're going to set the gun off to the side. Now, this is where you use your Phillips head screwdriver. There's one screw right here, and go ahead and take that out. And make sure you put enough pressure on it to where you're not rounding that out. You don't ever want to round that out. It'd just be a nightmare to try to service. Now, if you're not careful when you're pulling this apart, especially for the first time, it's extremely stiff. I take my index finger and push it down on this bottom bracket, and take my thumb, pull up. Alright, you see how the bolt release slid out. That dowel pin will stay in that side. I'll go ahead and put this back together so you can see it. Alright, sweet. So this is your nut for your grip. This is the tumbler that little bearing actually slides on. Here, I'll go ahead and take that out so you can see it. Right here, there's actually little divots that bearing sits in. That's what makes that click. You can see how mine's rather shiny. That was from where that spring was messed up in my MOE grip. So here's your trigger assembly. Alright, you got one dowel that holds the trigger actually in the frame, the spring up front. It gives you your tension. And then you have these two dowel pins back here. Now when this pops out, those will actually be real loose. And I was worried to death that I wasn't going to get this piece back in there right. And you just put the two pins close to the trigger and lay that on top of it. And then naturally you have the dowel pin that goes inside of that bolt release, and then the spring that goes behind it. You know, another thing, don't get this tumbler mixed up. I mean, you can see, you know, this is full auto. Here's stage one. This is semi-auto, and then when it rotates this way, it is completely safe. There's no where for that back finger of the trigger to go. So go ahead and roll it back on to full auto, because that's what I had it off when I took it apart. Alright, now we're ready to put it back together. It's as simple as that. Make sure that your grip nut is actually sitting with a flat surface facing straight up. Other than that, you might get a little bit of gap when you put this back together. When you put it back together, I put my index finger and middle finger in there, and the other two back here to support, like so. Use my thumb to push that up. That way you can line this pin up, because this dowel pin actually sits right down inside of here. So you want to make sure that that's tilted up to where you can line that up. Alright. I'll grab our Phillips head screw, set it back inside that hole. Make sure you keep plenty of pressure on those two halves of the trigger assembly so nothing goes astray inside of there. Alright. Done. Alright, now to slide it back on. Alright, set your mag wheel back on. Grab one of your bolts again. I like to start everything and not actually finish threading, just for the simple fact that it allows me to see, hey, you know, oh, I'm missing this, before I completely go and get everything to where it needs to be. We get our back pin. I'm left-handed, so you know I always mount that sling on that opposite side from what it came from the factory. But I'll go ahead and put it back the way it came from the factory, that way you guys can follow. Alright, we'll set our selector switch back in. Put that little bearing back in that hole. Sweet. Fell straight down in there the way it's supposed to. Tamp that one side down because it's not sitting exactly the way it needs to. Alright, spring. Grab the grip. A 3mm right here. We'll go ahead and start threading from the very first thing that I took off and work myself back to the very last. That allows me to, you know, go through a mental checklist, make sure I've got everything in its proper position. Go ahead and hold this, screw in the sling mount. Grab my 2.5mm. Screw in that selector switch, rotate it over to safety, the way I can snug it up. Don't over tighten it. Never want to over tighten something that delicate. Alright, now 3mm, both of them, one on each side. Alright, snug that up. Alright, we are done. Alright, verify that that works. It clicks. That's how you know it works. It's in safety. Trigger don't move. Halfway. Free floating. Go ahead and grab a magazine. Make sure that it slides in there just like butter. Works great. It's fantastic. Job done. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. I'll have some more videos up. If there's anything you guys would like to see done, leave a comment. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button. Stay tuned for more videos. Until next time, thanks for watching, guys.